Okay, as you all know, we are, or I am, excuse me, going back to school, and this is one of my required classes. So you guys are going to help me on this. What we're going to do today is we're going to learn how to set a table. And most of you, I'm sure, already know this, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. Okay. Okay. Two things that I found very, very interesting. One of them was an Emily Post, which we all know who she is, from Basic Magazine in 2015. And she said to use the word fork when it comes to setting the table. So when you're looking at your table, you put your forks on your left side, your O is your plate. She said, don't worry, we don't use an R. And K, knife, always put the blade to the plate. Napkins go on the left side. And that's the best way to set the table. And I always wondered that. Always wondered how you decided which way was the best way to do it. But she filled that one in. I have some papers on your tables. Let's do number 1. This one. This is a formal dinner setting, and I have to admit, after everything that I read, this is probably not the way they recommend doing it, because they want the napkin either off to the side or like this one, where you lay it across the table, or if you're really good, you could do it like fancy design or in the water glass or wine glass or whatever that is. So this is what they consider a formal setting for the dining room. You've got fish knives and all this other weird stuff. You've got all kinds of different goblets and stuff. Let's see. You've got water goblets, you've got wine goblets, you've got a red wine goblet, you've got a white wine goblet. Of course, you're going to have coffee at some point, so you got to take into account that. This is an informal. And we're going to kind of do this so you can compare them. It kind of amazed me. Oh, wait a second. I got to get it moved. There we go. On both of these, the dessert silverware goes in the same spot. Your cake, fork, or for a spoon for mousse, or puddings, ice cream, sherbet. The other thing that always stays the same is the bread plate and the bread knife. Everything else can, well, besides the main plate, everything else pretty much stays the same. Or changes, excuse me. So everything else changes according to the courses that you're serving. Because if you're not serving a soup, you don't have to do a soup spoon. If you're not doing fish, you obviously don't need to do the fish. Something else I found interesting is 1973 Good Housekeeping Cookbook stresses not to overplan your meals. So if you can handle 8 courses, keep it 3 or 4 courses, which is plenty to fill anybody up. Try and do meals that can be set aside, in a buffet warmer or a slow cooker or something, so that as the hostess, you're not trying to run around, get all your food cooked, get it out to the table while it's hot, because you're not going to enjoy yourself. Something else that was talked about real briefly was setting the table. If you've got a beautiful wood finish table, then leave the wood show. You might want to put a nice placemat down so that it doesn't get scratched up. But other than that, you could leave it show. If you do use a tablecloth, make sure it's a nice tablecloth. It's not stained up. You've got what they call a silence cloth underneath it. And I'm assuming the silence cloth is just that. Also, be careful when using a centerpiece because you want to be able for your guests to see the other guests. You want to be able to promote a conversation around the table. And that's very, very important. That's the whole purpose to a dinner party. I was trying to remember which number it was. I'm sorry, I didn't have it more organized. A tea setting was what I was looking for, and I apologize. I'm sure you've got them on your table, but I forgot to organize mine. A tea setting, they just, nice napkin, nice silverware, little plate for like finger sandwiches, coffee cup, maybe a water glass. One thing I didn't notice, and I went to Walmart and I looked a little carefuler today than I have in the past, is silverware is not what it used to be. Nowadays you got a fork, you got a spoon, or you got a salad fork, you got a dinner fork, you got a spoon, and you got a knife. Back where I got this stuff from, I mean, they had shrimp forks and fish knives and soup spoons and teaspoons and tablespoons, and nobody does that anymore. I was wondering if any of you know, because seriously, unless it's like my mother-in-law's gold set that she's got that goes with her 50th anniversary dishes, then you probably don't have all of those pieces either, which is kind of bizarre. But we do live more simplistic, because I was also thinking about bringing in just a regular set of dishes. I have some china, and then I got to looking and it's like, oh my God, I don't have all these pieces. I couldn't set a complete table if I had to. Plus the fact, I don't have those kind of glasses. I can't do that. So we're gonna, if anybody has any questions, I would be happy to answer them shortly. So to wrap it up, that is how we set a table using nice linens, pretty dishes. Nowadays you can mix match. Nice linen tablecloths, glasses, make it simple. Don't drive yourself crazy. And good luck with your next dinner